Welcome back, everybody. We're here on a Sunday night. We're getting ready to dive into Acts chapter 8. Can't wait. We just finished up watching.
Chapter 8?
Yeah, 10.
8 plus 10.
Acts chapter 18. I can't help it. I'm doing, all the math after that Giants-Broncos debacle game we just watched. Sorry, any Giants fans. I don't know if they exist. Do Giants fans exist?
I don't know.
They used to be my number 2 team.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I like the Eagles.
Because they was equal to the Dolphins.
Hey, now. They at least won Super Bowl.
That is inappropriate comments there, Poppy. On that note, let's go ahead and introduce everybody before we get too far into the weeds of atrocious football play. We'll start right over there.
Kurt Penix.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan Gazaway.
You got your own screen to yourself.
Yeah, I see me.
Actually, you need to look into that.
Your camera's back there.
Buster Nason.
Better known as
Pretty Poppy.
Okay. Where's your sidekick today?
Well, he did a brotherhood breakfast and he didn't invite me, so I think he's too ashamed to show up.
Oh, man.
That's tough.
So a brotherhood breakfast. You were not invited.
I don't remember. I told him, I said, remind me like Friday before, and he sends a text message like Monday morning. How come I remember that long?
I mean, if you wanted to make it, you'd probably make it a point to be there, right?
I wanted to make it. So I got up Saturday morning, which was yesterday, by the way. When I went to Big City Sturgis, and I got some diesel for the tractors and gas for the lawnmower. And I said, just cruise the town right quick, quarter mile. And I come by Sturgis Baptist and I see all the trucks leaving. I'm thinking,
Oh, you should have pulled in and see what kind of leftovers they had.
I should have.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. I should have.
Oh, man. Well, anyway, I'm trying. We're back again. Do we even want to talk about any of the football games that have transpired this weekend?
I think I'm over it.
You're over football or over this weekend?
Over this weekend.
It was rough. I think as a Mississippi State fan, we have the longest active streak of not winning an SEC game, and we're watching Vanderbilt become
just tear the league apart.
Yeah, dominant like the Alabama and Georgias of old. Here comes Diego Pavia and company, and
we are truly in the end times.
And then here comes Mississippi State, and we should have won. That's the thing. We should have won, but we didn't. And just to have it ripped away right there at the end, I can't think of a good way to tie that analogy into a Bible theme, but heartbreaking or heartbroken.
Oh, I know. We're shaved head Samson.
So this is when you wake up and you're like, oh yeah, I can do this. And then you find out, I don't have a hair anymore.
Yeah, we're shaved head Samson every day.
Man. Oh man.
I mean, that's saying we had hair to begin with, though.
That's true.
It was a sad day. If you're an Ole Miss fan, I don't know if those exist either. You had the rug ripped out from under you as well yesterday. It was a rough day. Dolphins played ball today.
Did they?
No, they didn't. I mean, they did not play football today. The Browns did, from what I saw. The Giants decided to find new ways to lose.
That was impressive.
Any other just devastating disasters? Cowboys won, if you're a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a Cowboys fan. I do pull for Dak Prescott. Poppy, what about you? You're a Saints fan, aren't you?
I guess.
You guess? What do you mean you guess?
Well, last night about 9 o'clock, I said, let me turn the TV on and see if there's any football on. And then I said, nah.
Well, the Saints, I'm going to say you're probably not a fan anymore then, because the Saints definitely would not have been playing last night.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about college, and I said, well, Mississippi State won, and I found a highlight reel that said 43 of the best plays, and most of the time State was on defense on those plays.
I watched that game, and there were not 43 highlight-worthy plays.
Yeah, I'm not going to say.
Well, I mean, they had to do something to get that 5 minutes of time.
Yeah, because you guys remember the old days when you had to find out the score of games? You had to turn on Sports Center and watch the ticker at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday I was trying to see the scores, and this is how bad we talk about the youngsters having attention problems. I could not wait for the ticker to go by. I was like, this is taking way too long. Put up my phone, looked up the scores, read them myself, And we want to talk about, the young kids like, oh, they have attention problems. And I'm right there with them.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to pray it in here, Papa. You got it? No, you're going to do the summary. You're going to do a killer summary. We're going to let Dylan pray it in.
All right. Dear Lord, I just thank you once again for the blessing of being able to be a part of this podcast. I just pray that you would guide us as we go through this chapter. I pray every word that we say would be 100% to glorify you and nothing else, Lord. Just be with those who are listening. Let these words and the discussion that we will have tonight be for your glory and your honor, and ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Now, we have to find some way to transition from all this sad, like depressing, our team's lost in devastating ways talk. So, Poppy, what you got for us?
I just remembered something.
Oh, no.
No, remember last week we said we was going to let a certain somebody do the summary?
That's why
And
he's
he
skipping.
didn't show up.
Oh.
Funny how that happens, ain't it?
It is.
Isn't that convenient?
Mm-hmm.
So now that we've figured it out, why he didn't show up.
Yeah, well.
So we're just going to tell it. So we'll let him get next week's.
Okay, well, Chris, if you're going to listen, remember, the good Lord made a donkey talk. You can do this. You can do it. You can do it. Okay.
Would you say that Chris is better than the donkey, or would be more of a miracle?
It's going to be pretty close. What y'all think?
I don't know.
I'm going to say about equal.
Yeah.
Well, on Shrek, when Donkey talks, he says the trick is not him talking, it's him being quiet. So I think that would be more of the trick.
Yeah, probably so.
All right, Poppy, hit that summary for us.
Okay, we're in Acts chapter 18. Paul's just carrying on this missionary journey, and we'll see that Paul is leaving. He leaves Athens, and he travels towards Corinth, and he meets this couple, Aquila and Priscilla, and they're a Jewish couple who recently left Rome because Claudius said, "I want all you people out of here," so they had to relocate. And they had the same trade as Paul had. They were tent makers. So Paul worked with them probably during the week, but then on the Sabbath day, Paul would go to the nobody's here to remind me, to the synagogue.
Look at that. You do better when Chris is not here.
Yeah, he's
always poking you with stuff when you're
he's
doing
always poking me with a pencil.
We're going to separate you guys. Where's the teacher that can separate these guys?
Mm-hmm.
And he was there, and when Silas and Timothy come along, they come from Macedonia, and Paul said, "Okay, I'm going to spend my time now preaching, telling people about Jesus, and He's the Messiah." And I know we're going to find this hard to believe, but people opposed him again. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
And so Paul said, "All right, I'm done with you folks. I'm going to the Gentiles." He said, "If y'all won't believe it, y'all have been reading this all your life, so I'm going to try to explain this to someone who can believe it." And he did, and he stayed in the house of a man by the name of
Justice.
Yes. And he was a Gentile, and he was a believer, and he was so conveniently lived right next to the synagogue.
Funny how that works, ain't it?
So I think Paul was kind of like, I'm not going to call no names, but there's this fella, his initials are Sterling Lewis. When he was a single guy, people would invite him to come home after church and eat lunch with him because he was a single guy, always act like he was starving. So he got kind of like, "Well, what are you having?" Somebody else would invite him, "Well, what are you having?" He would pick his favorite food out of them, and he would go stay with them. And maybe that's what Paul done. Hey, this is benefit me more to get out of tent makers and go over here, stay by the synagogue. But anyway,
how you gonna put Mr. Sterling on blast like that?
I said his initials, didn't I?
No.
Oh,
You said
okay.
I won't say his initials, and you just called his whole name.
Oh, okay.
The full government name.
Sterling's a good guy. He turned me on to sugar-free root beers, and
That
doesn't sound like a friend.
Yeah, that does not sound like a friend. Why would he do that?
well, you remember we was
Better
doing
question: why do those exist?
we was doing the fundraiser. Remember we cooked all the Boston Butts that time? I can't remember what the fundraiser for Carly.
I remember.
And Sterling said, I got some drinks here if anybody wants it. It was diet root beers. Now, once again, all of us who know Sterling know that Sterling got like 90 cents off the first dollar he ever made. He's
The word is thrifty. I know what you're going to say.
he's
And
thrifty.
people call me that, but thrifty is the word.
I feel like poor Mr. Sterling is getting a lot of bad rap here and not getting a chance to defend himself.
This is a good thing because I opened up his cooler, sugar-free root beer. I drank it. I said, that is good. He turned me on to sugar-free root beer.
I wonder if he bought them because they were so nasty he didn't think he knew.
Nobody going to drink those.
Right.
Is that what he did?
Yes.
Yeah. So he pulled the ultimate Paul Gerald move,
Yes.
where Paul started drinking Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
And we were like, Paul, why do you drink these nasty things? Like, they are terrible. He's like, that's exactly why I drink them. So all of you guys leave them alone, and I'll still have some in my refrigerator. When he told us that, we took it as a personal challenge to start drinking, no matter how much it cost us, Diet Dr. Pepper.
And them things is rough.
They were. So you're saying Mr. Sterling had the same idea. I
Yes.
can drink sugar-free root beer and nobody will ever like it, and I'll be able to keep more.
But I liked it.
Did you really like it, or
Yes,
you just like
yes,
it
I
because
do.
you knew he didn't
I
want you
do.
to drink them?
I still buy them, and I put them in my refrigerator at the barn, and now the grandkids like them, so we got to find something else.
You're
now.
becoming Paul.
Mm-hmm.
You're becoming Paul Gerald, where you're buying, whereas his was Diet Dr. Pepper, you're buying Diet root beer, which root beer is bad anyway. Like,
sugar-free root beer.
do any of you guys like root beer?
No.
Yeah, I did. That's
I
not.
do.
You do?
Yeah.
It just tastes bad. It's like a
It's
liquid.
really sweet. Yeah.
It's like a liquid licorice, and like we wouldn't eat licorice either. So why would you drink it?
It's like somebody put sugar in medicine. This meh.
I know it's bad. You're safe with me, is what I'm saying. You can drink all you want to. I'm not drinking one of those nasty things.
I'm trying to figure out where I was at in the summary because I actually got confused.
We were
Oh,
talking
6.
about Paul moving from tent maker house to the house right beside the synagogue.
Oh, yeah.
And you compared that to somebody who we won't say anything but his initials, saying that he was.
He was by it.
That was all you, was not me.
Okay, I'll take the blame for that one. So anyway, Paul is at the synagogue and he's teaching. And then there's this fellow who is the ruler of the synagogue, and him and his household, it says, believe in the Lord, and a lot of folks was baptized at the time. Excuse me. So I'm wondering, and I may have missed this in the scripture somewhere. So then we see where the Lord appears to Paul in a vision, telling him, said, do not be afraid, keep on speaking, do not be silent, for I am with you. And I'm thinking, why did God have to tell Paul that? So Paul must have had something running in his mind. Something's going on. So God encouraged.
You don't think it's flashbacks from getting beaten, stoned?
Yeah.
I mean, we could pick any number of things that may be running through his mind.
But God encouraged Paul. We see he stayed another year and a half.
Yeah, well, he told him, he was like, hey, nobody will attack you or harm you.
Mm-hmm.
I have many that are in this city who are my people.
So later on,
I wonder if they're already his people, or if Jesus was like, no, I've already, like, there's people here who are going to be mine.
Oh, you better be careful.
No, I'm throwing it out there on the table. You guys tell me.
No, I think you're on the right track. I think there are already people there that Paul doesn't know about yet, but I also think there are people that in the future will be.
Yeah. And I know where you're going. You're thinking I was about to go into predestination and all those things. Listen, if that gets you riled up and upset, I'm sorry. We serve a God who knows everything that ever happened and everything that ever will happen. And if you take offense with that, take it up with God, not me.
so you're saying we can't surprise God?
That is exactly what I'm saying.
That's what I think too. Now I do. Now this is me. This is me. When I'm spending quiet time with God, I hadn't done this in a while because I may be growing up a little bit. But I used to tell God jokes. I know that sounds crazy, but
All right, hold on.
I need to know a joke.
Now,
I need a God joke.
he already knew the punchline. But that's what I used to because I'm thinking because I'm reading share everything with him. I love to joke and play with folks.
You're telling God jokes.
Yeah,
What kind of? I need to know one.
Yeah,
that you
I
told
need
him.
to hear a God joke.
that's going to be in chapter 4 of Trophy Husband book.
Oh, you got to pay for that, folks. I'm sorry.
Man. Anybody have a pen?
We tried to get you one for free.
Nobody has a pen on them. Mine's way across there. Okay, so
I got
Sharpie.
I'm just trying. I'm trying to write down so I can pass me one of those plates, please, sir. Got to remember
the one with the food on it.
Don't care. Got to remember the title. We're gonna make this now. So got that one. It's gonna be God jokes. So that ought to get us some attention.
Probably not good attention.
No, probably not.
No. Be with me. Sure. Think about this. You spend time with God, and why not be open with Him?
I agree with you there. Like being open with Him. It just the thought has never crossed my mind to consider, hey, I'm talking to the creator of the universe. Let me tell him a joke to like, I'm not saying
just me.
I'm not saying you're wrong or anything like that. I just said the thought has never crossed my mind. Kurt
Usually,
Dillon.
if I want to make God laugh, I tell him what I think about something.
Is that the kind of jokes you're telling him?
No,
like,
just
Because that'll make God laugh. Like, you're an idiot, Kurt.
Hey, God, I'm about to do this today. And God's like, oh, really?
Yeah. Tell him my plans.
Haven't you learned? Anyway.
So how long have you been telling God jokes?
No, like I said, I grew up a little bit. I hadn't done that in a long time.
Okay, well, when did you start telling God jokes?
I don't know.
Did you stop telling like last week or like a couple years ago?
It's been a few years.
You going to start back telling him jokes tomorrow?
Did he ever laugh?
Since I reminded myself, I don't know, but I'm spending time with the Creator.
I really need to see chapter 4 of this book to know what kind of jokes you're telling God.
Well, once y'all get old,
I feel like I'm there.
well, you once you get old, and I'm thinking like when one of the grandkids would get in my lap and just tell me useless stuff. I enjoy that time.
Which one?
Yes.
I was going to say, if you need somebody to get and tell you a story that'll take you 18 years to get to the end of it, I've got one for you.
A story or a youngin'.
A youngin' that will tell you a story that takes 18 years.
But that's just me. I work a little different from most
I want
folks.
to know if anybody that ever hears this has ever used your quiet time to tell God a joke. That's the first time I've ever heard that in my life.
Comment on wherever you listen to the podcast.
Like, wherever you listen, you can get on the Facebook page, wherever you can find a way to send us a message. I need to know if Poppy's alone, if we've discovered something else that is just unique to him, because we all know he's a unique individual. Take that however you need to, Poppy. Has anybody ever used your quiet time to tell jokes to God?
Hey, and if you've got a really good one, send us your top 2 or 3, and it might get in chapter 4 of Poppy's book.
Yep. Keep it G-rated.
We'll give you credit, of course.
Maybe. Poppy, I don't know if you're going to finish this summary today.
Verse 11, and then we can take a break.
Man, y'all rough. So the Jews, as we go on, the Jews bring Paul before. Y'all say that name.
No, you got it.
Hold on. You skipped 11.
Oh, I missed 11. Okay, what did I miss?
Because we was going to take a break after 11.
Oh, we're going to take a break after 11. Okay.
Yeah, but you skipped 11.
I can't find 11.
It's okay. I got
There we
you.
go.
He stayed 1 year and 6 months
Yeah,
teaching the word of God among them.
Yeah, I said it's stayed a year and a half.
So that's a long time for Paul.
Yes.
What do you mean long time for Paul?
Paul don't like to stick around one place too long.
It's not really about if Paul likes it or not, to be honest.
That's true.
Because usually Paul's like, I'd be happy to stay here or go somewhere else. However, I can't walk because I've been beaten too bad.
All right. So if we go back.
Yeah.
I was reading, one of the commentaries I was reading was just talking about Paul's mindset as he's leaving Athens. Everett Harrison is the guy. He describes Paul's condition as the combination of only limited success at Athens, loneliness, and the prospect of facing this city with its commerce and vice accounts for the weakness and fear that gripped the apostle as he arrived to begin his work. So this guy feels like Paul was at a state of weakness and fear as he's coming into Athens. Would y'all agree with that?
It seems that way because if not, like Poppy said, why would Jesus have to show up and talk to him?
Right. And when Jesus tells him this, he tells him, do not be afraid. So Paul is obviously fearful.
Yeah.
But what do you think would cause a man that has been through what Paul has been through to be fearful? That's kind of what I got stuck on, is what's different about this scenario. And I never really could think of anything that would answer that for me. I was wondering if y'all had.
I don't know. Do you think at any point prior to this that Paul had gotten to a place where he was like, you know what, God's got me?
Yeah.
Like, or if he's always just kind of been like, I don't know if this is it or not. Not that he didn't have faith. Don't mean it like that. but maybe not the assurance that Jesus was going to protect him, or maybe he had a fear that he could mess up and get himself killed, so to speak.
Yeah.
And let the Savior down. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's a stressful way to live. He has all the reasons in the world to be afraid, but
Mhm.
you just wonder why Jesus has come to him at this point.
Yeah.
Out of all the times and all the things he's already been through, why now?
You can almost kind of sense, like, when he's talking to the Jews, just the extra, like, how he's just fed up with them, just
Oh, yeah.
like, because he hadn't acted in, like this to anybody before this, and maybe he's just fed up with them,
I think that's definitely fair, that he's fed up with the Jews.
Well, in verse 6, it says, when they opposed him, and the word for opposed here, and I'm sorry, the word for resist, they opposed him and resisted him. The word for resist is antitasso, and that's actually a military term where you're talking about getting lined up for battle. So it's not just that they resisted what he was saying, they were actively going against him. It wasn't just that they're saying, "Nah, man, we're not listening to that." They're like, "No, you're wrong. Here's why you're wrong. Don't come back."
Mhm.
So I can kind of see what Dylan's going for there, that Paul's really fed up. He shakes out his clothes against them, says, "Look, your blood's on your own head. I'm done here."
Yeah, and just think about like how long it would take Paul or any disciple to get to that point.
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially Paul, where he's come from, his background, all those things that's gotten him to this point. And he's like, I was the worst of the worst. And for him to get to a point where he's like, okay, we just have to be done because it is more of a hindrance to the
Yep.
gospel's advancement if I continue trying to get through to you guys than if I just leave.
Well, and Jesus says, don't cast your pearls before swine, right?
Mm.
And so at a certain point, you're casting pearls in front of swine when you're doing the same thing over and over again and it's not working. There are people out there that want to hear it, so go find them.
Yeah. And it's really hard to have that wisdom to know, like,
Yep.
Because I'm a big believer, you guys heard me say before, you just go until you're given a clear no. And, if you do that, sometimes you're going to be casting seed into rocky ground. You're going to be, or as you just said, casting pearls before swine.
Mm-hmm.
And so having the wisdom to know when not to go after, a person or a group of people is a place that I'm not at yet personally. And so since I'm not there yet to have that clear wisdom, I just kind of choose to err on, I'd rather share the gospel and then reject it than me not share it with them.
Yeah.
And then have been wrong in my assumption that, this is a waste of time.
Well, you'd rather be wrong to share than to not share.
Absolutely. If you're going to be wrong one way or the other,
Yeah.
you would rather be wrong in doing the Great Commission as opposed to not doing the Great Commission.
Yeah. And then we
stuff.
jump down to verse 8. We see Crispus is saved. He believes in the Lord and together with his entire household. And I think one of the major themes of Acts that a lot of times we skip over is the importance of men leading their household.
Mm.
How many times in Acts do we see a man get saved and then his entire household gets saved right after he does?
The jailer immediately pops into mind.
Well, you have the jailer. You go back to the other jailer. There's been multiple jailers in this chapter or in this book where they get saved, boom, their entire house gets saved.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see the influence of men leading a household and how important that is, because without them first getting salvation, nobody in their house was going to get saved.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the big themes in Acts that we kind of overlook sometimes, but it flows through the whole book of the leadership of the household of men and how important that is, and the domino effect that has when a man gets saved and leads his house.
Yeah, and there's going to be people that hear that, find a way to take offense with it.
Sure.
They're like, oh, well, why does the man matter more than the lady? That's not what Kurt's saying at all.
Mm-mm.
We're saying that both are necessary, both are important to a household to function. But he's saying that, Kurt, I feel like you're saying this because in our society, it's usually not
Right.
the mom who's missing.
Mm-hmm.
Usually. There's always, it's usually the dad if somebody's missing, it's usually the dad.
Yeah.
And, as us as being men and husbands and fathers, we need to take that extra burden that we have and not neglect it or run away from it, but to embrace it and be the spiritual leaders of our household. There was a guy that I used to coach football with. He would always say, he was like, as men, we are required to be in our house the priest, protector, provider.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, that is my role in my household. And I always thought that was good stuff right there.
Yep.
All right. Anybody got anything else on verse 11? Poppy been quite quiet over there. I saw you taking notes, though. Kurt, he was taking notes.
I'm learning from you fellas.
Kurt's a pretty smart fella.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. That's dangerous.
You missing your partner over there?
I got a partner.
No. Okay.
Verse 10 is really cool to me. It says, "For I am with you, and no one will attack you to harm you, for I have many in this city who are my people." And we talked about this a little bit already, but when I was reading that, my mind immediately went back to 2 Kings, and it's something we talked about in Sunday school a few months ago. It's 2 Kings chapter 6, verses 15 through 17, when the army comes out, and I'll just read it. It says, "When the servant of the man of God rose early in the morning and went out, behold, an army with horses and chariots was all around the city. And the servant said, 'Alas, my master, what shall we do?' He said, 'Do not be afraid, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them.'
Yeah.
Then Elisha prayed and said, 'O Lord, please open his eyes that he may see.' So the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha." But just the way that that's written kind of reminds me of that. Like, you don't see everything that's out there. God's got you. And you don't have to see it all the time. But every once in a while, Jesus will come along and remind you, say, "Hey, you got this."
Yeah.
And I think that's what Jesus is doing for Paul there, is just a general reminder of, hey, we got more than they do.
Yeah.
Like, you're in this battle and you think it's bad right now, but we're going to win.
Yeah. And we got to remember that, like, especially what you just said. Paul, he's looking at it from his perspective, his lens, from my eyesight out, knowing what I know, this looks hopeless.
Yep.
And then to take a step back and to realize that I can't see everything. I don't know from the perspective that Jesus has. And when you do get that glimpse or that reminder that, okay, yeah, Paul, you don't have this, but I've got it.
Yeah.
Jesus said,
Paul doesn't have to.
yeah, Paul, you don't have to. I've got it.
Mm.
Good stuff. Anything else before probably continues on the last couple of verses before we wrap this one up?
Well, we talked about Paul staying there for a year and 6 months. That's right after verse 10. Jesus says, "Hey, stick around."
Yeah.
Paul says, 18 months. Here we go.
Yep. Paul said,
Immediate obedience is what I wrote in my notes. Immediate obedience. Paul doesn't question Jesus. He doesn't do anything else. He says, all right, if I'm supposed to be here, even if it's bad, 18 months. Here we go.
yeah. And so what does that kind of tell us about God? And when we get the present or God's presence with us during hard seasons of life?
I mean, at times it's necessary, right? Anything that you're doing for the kingdom that actually serves a purpose is going to be hard. Like when Joshua takes over, how many times does God tell him be strong and courageous just in Joshua chapter 1? It's like 3 different times.
Yeah, so I was going to say it's 2 or 3.
It's 3, and he has to tell him over and over again because he's asking him to do something that's hard, that's terrifying.
You know, what, I don't know where it was at, but there's probably no telling how many movies, stories, you name it, where they remind one of the younger characters usually that courage is not the absence of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Courage is the ability to go through with the right thing in the presence of fear.
Sure.
You don't need courage if you're not afraid.
Well, and you don't need courage if you're not doing anything worth doing.
Right. Like if there's no threat, there's no challenge, there's no risk, you don't need courage.
Right.
So if you're seeing somebody that has courage or God telling somebody to have courage, it's because there's a risk about to be taken.
Right. And they're doing things that are worth doing. They're doing things that are important.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't ever need courage, then you're probably not doing anything anyway.
Hear, hear.
But it's just so cool how Jesus knows exactly when Paul needs that little push, that little, hey, I'm here. Hey, you're not by yourself. Hey, there's more of us out there than there is of them.
Yep. Any of you guys ever had something in your life where it's really hard, but you kind of felt God was encouraging, stick this out, and I've got you on the other end.
All the time.
Yeah. And I mean, we can go through the list of things. We could get really personal about it. And I bet most of the people who are listening to this, you've had those same moments too.
Mm-hmm.
And the prosperity gospel, and I use that as like a broad statement of, name it, claim it. You go through all the things that says good things are going to happen to you when you become a Christian. The greatest Christian who ever lived was Christ. And he did not have good things all the time happen to him. He had the worst happen to him.
Yep.
So we shouldn't be stunned or upset or quit or give up when those bad things happen. Instead, don't I don't want to say like you're supposed to enjoy it. Like recognize it for what it is. If it's evil, it's evil. If it's something to grieve it, mourn it, all those things. But at the same time, believe and trust that, I'm not necessarily wrong in my faith because bad things are happening.
Yep.
Bad things could be happening because I'm right in my faith. And this is happening because I'm right in my faith.
Well, and like Chad said this morning when he was talking about Romans 8:28, right? He's working for our good, but that don't always look like good to us.
Well,
when do you find out the most about yourself? When There's
when
nothing.
Brittany tells me what I've done wrong.
Oh, well, other than that, when things are tough or rough or whatever, and you kind of like, well, I got to put my big boy pants on, and you push through it and you carry on, and then you look back and you think, man, I'm glad that happened because I learned so much about myself.
Yeah. And how many times when you quote, put your big boy pants on and push through, carry on, years down the road, you look back and you're like, that really wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah.
Now, there are times when it happens, you're like, man, I still don't ever want to go through that again. But there's been a lot of times when I look back, I'm like, man, I made that into a really big deal. And it was not.
Well, and one thing that's been super comforting to me in those situations is it's not always fun, but I can go to the Bible and say, I don't have a choice, right? If I'm going to be obedient, there is no choice here.
Yep.
I just got to keep pushing.
Yep.
And to me, that's comforting because it takes the options out of it. I don't have options.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do what God told me to, and I'm just going to have to tote it. And that's part of being a man sometimes. And that's part of being a follower of God.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't say it's going to be easy. He just says be obedient.
Yeah.
And once you take the options out of it, it makes the decision so much simpler.
Got a good quote, Coach Jones quote for you. So maybe he'll listen to this. Coach Jones, what do you say in the weight room all the time? If it feels good, you ain't doing it right. That's for you, Coach Jones. All right. Poppy, continue that summary.
Okay. So then it says, but when, what's that fella's name? How you say that?
Gallio.
I was going to say Gallio.
I was going to say Galileo. So, okay. Gallio.
Just one extra syllable in there that you would have thrown.
But that extra syllable flows off your tongue.
Yeah, he likes to season his words with some extra syllables sometimes. I appreciate that.
Okay. But Gallio, is that what?
Gallio.
Gallio. Okay. When Gallio was the proconsul of the Jews,
Are you just going to skip that place?
What place? Did I miss something?
That's what happens when you sneeze.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The Hachus. Hachacha.
Sure. That's it. I think that's actually it.
Yep.
He's a proconsul of the Hachachas of the Jews. And they made Bible says they made a united attack on Paul. So they done planned out what they want to do, the way I understand.
They can't agree on nothing except for we hate Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
Hey, but sometimes there is nothing that will bring a group of people together as I don't like that guy either. You don't like him? Let's get him.
A good lynching will always bring people closer. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, so they brought it in. I love this part right here. It just kind of tickles me a little bit. They bring them before him and they tell him, say, well, this fella is teaching something about God that's contrary, that's contradicting our law. It ain't right. We want you to do something about it. And he just kind of looks at him and he says, I ain't got no reason to even accept your complaint. y'all wasting my time, fellas. Y'all want me to settle y'all's arguments that don't mean nothing to us. And they said, okay, thank you, sir. We'll handle it our own way then. But it went on. It said, I have no reason to accept your complaint. And then he said, I refuse to be a judge
of these things.
And then the Bible says, where in verse 16 it says, and he drove them out. He just kind of like, not, please leave, fellas. Guards, get them fellas out of here.
Wasting my time.
Yep. And when I read that, I was thinking about he drove them out. The first thing come to my mind when Jesus drove out the people in the temple who was buying and selling and making profit and all that good stuff.
Yeah, he was like, you guys are not going to be wasting my time coming here. He's like, we'll make sure we just go ahead and nip this in the bud now. Like, you guys will not be bothering me with these things anymore.
So,
I was waiting for you to get this last verse.
So the crowd seizes
Sosthenes.
Oh, I wanted to, he had
That's what happens after you sneeze. Again. Sauce
the knees.
Oh, sauce on the knees.
No,
I got you.
Sosthenes.
Sosthenes.
There you go.
Oh, I like that.
That was nice.
Sosthenes.
That's going to be the name of your next dog.
The next dog you get.
Absolutely. That's exactly what was in my mind. Sosthenes.
That rabbit dog you're going to get.
Sosthenes.
You getting a rabbit dog or a squirrel dog?
Both. I think I just want a couch dog.
A couch dog?
Yeah.
What are those called? What kind of dog is a couch dog? Kurt?
Just lays on the couch.
I know. What breed?
That would be like a bulldog. If you got a bulldog named Sosthenes, that'd be a good dog.
That would be a good dog.
Well, I've been watching a lot of videos on these Belgian Malinois. I'm thinking I'd like to have one of those because they said if you don't have like 8 hours a day to run an energy off of him, he'll destroy your house. And I'm thinking, yes. Saw pictures where they're chewing the sheetrock off the walls and stuff. I'm thinking, yeah, that'll work.
Could you imagine Gigi coming home to a dog that has chewed through all the walls? You have this one like peephole tunnel all the way through your house.
Oh, that would be.
We came home from vacation one time.
Oh my goodness!
And a dog had like some kind of black chow mixed dog we had.
That somebody give us.
We won't go there, but somehow the door was left open, or the dog got in.
Somehow the dog got inside the house.
We were gone on vacation.
Mm.
When we got back, doors open.
Mhm.
The house is destroyed.
I'm
talking like beanbag is ripped open and those little beads are everywhere. Couch cushions are destroyed.
Y'all ever seen that movie Turner and Hooch? When the dog gets loose in the house?
That's an old movie. 1980s throwback. Here we go.
Oh, wasn't alive.
Oh, they played reruns.
Excuse me. Anyway, the dog destroys the house. This dog, I mean, we had just bags of garbage that was good stuff when we left.
Yeah, we threw away a lot after that dog finished.
And I don't know, but the dog, and we done nothing to him. We had bad feelings towards him, but the dog just disappeared. Kind of like he looked at us and said, "These people hurt my feelings," and he just left.
That sounds suspicious.
Or,
Very.
well, no, it wouldn't.
He went to a farm with some nice people. Is that what you're saying?
I have no idea. Honestly, have no idea what happened. I'm thinking, is this house not nice enough for him now? He's got to go find another
This
one.
house full of junk. Who wants to live here?
Who wants to live here? These trashy people.
Okay.
Whitney, I think we just found out what happened to your dog.
So Sosthenes, oh man,
You had it too.
Sosthenes,
Yeah.
Sosthenes.
Sosthenes.
There you go.
Okay, so it's kind of like, you ever watch Shark Week? You get a shark that's got a little blood spot, how all the sharks just kind of jump on it. That's what I figured they'd done here. It's okay. So they just grabbed him, and let's see, it says, "They all seized Sosthenes, the ruler of the synagogue, and they beat him in front of the tribunal. But Galileo there
Galileo.
paid no attention to it.
Great
anyway.
astronomer, terrible judge.
But it said, he paid no attention to any of this. Kind of like, y'all being stupid, fellas. I'm not going to help you no matter who y'all beat.
Well, it was crazy to me that these guys had like made up their mind. Somebody's getting
Oh yeah, somebody's getting beat
Like,
today.
Yeah, somebody's going to
like
get it.
we think we're going to get Paul over there, but
But if Sosthenes don't win,
turns out that we didn't get Paul. Well, Sosthenes, you're next because you told us to get Paul, and now we done made our proconsul mad, and that looks bad.
And
for
we done
everybody.
called up the boys from the hills, and they got the sticks and the stones in their hands, and we're going to get somebody.
yeah. I was reading about this kind of trial here, and they actually made a really good point that I hadn't thought about, that if Gallio had accepted this charge and charged Paul here, it would have shut down a lot of Paul's missionary journeys because they would have precedent after this to say, hey, in this city, this is what they ruled, so this is the rule moving forward. Paul can't be going around telling people about Jesus. So the fact that this guy dismissed it completely opens up all of Paul's future missionary journeys in Roman provinces and in front of Roman proconsuls. So I thought that was really cool that this kind of sets a precedent here. This is the first time he really has a trial where they have to decide something and the judge just kind of dismisses the whole thing.
Yeah. And think about this. Think about Paul, who he has this vision from Jesus who says, hey, don't be afraid. Nobody's going to attack you or harm you. Do you think there's any way in Paul's mind he was thinking the person who would be the deliverer that would bring his deliverance is going to be the Roman official? Like, you talk about your ultimate, like, just switcheroo on you. And here's Paul. He's thinking, oh, man, I must have stayed too long because now I'm about to get beaten again. These guys already got the whole mob, the clubs, the sticks, the stones. And then you get there and the proconsul's like, no, that's not what happened today.
Jesus says, Paul, I got you. So what does Paul say in his defense?
Nothing.
Paul started to talk.
Yeah.
And the judge didn't even let him defend himself. Paul didn't have to say a word.
Jesus did all the work.
Paul did not say one word in his own defense. The judge cut him off and said, hey, I'm not even listening to this.
Are you saying that should be the lesson for us? Like, don't defend yourself? I mean, did Jesus defend himself?
He said not a word. So it's interesting there.
That's hard.
So if Paul attempted to defend himself,
He would have probably messed it up, made the proconsul mad. Like if Paul would have got a word
Well, Paul
out.
ain't known for pulling punches, so he'd have probably made him just madder.
I can see Paul starting off, well, while we're here, proconsul, let's just go ahead and lay this out here. You have no authority over me, sir. And the proconsul's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And Jesus is like, nope, Paul's not going to even have a chance to talk. We're going to take care of this before he gets going.
and it may have been a little buzz throughout the country that this Paul fellow is a Roman citizen too. So let's be careful how we handle him.
Yeah.
That might be
He's made some waves in that regard.
Absolutely. Anything else we got?
I just like, in verse 13, where it says that this fellow persuades men to worship God contrary to the law. He's worshiping God, but not the way that we want him to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. And also pretty persuasive.
Mm.
Like, and that's one thing I have to say about Paul. Like, there are some people who, what was the Old Testament prophet that he was told you're going to preach for years and have 0 converts? I know Noah preached for 100 and had 0, but someone was actually told, I can't remember right now. Was it Jeremiah? Okay. Jeremiah.
Weeping prophet.
But then you have Paul, who's like, he almost has like, if he was a farmer, if we used a metaphor of, farming is getting people saved, Paul has like the green thumb. Like he's just, wherever he goes, people listen and they're drawn to the gospel.
Yep.
Which is incredible.
And he was told that from the beginning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The same way that Jeremiah was told people aren't going to listen, Paul was told people are going to listen.
Yeah. Which is wild. Okay. We have anything else we need to get off our chest before we close out this one and move on?
I thought it was interesting with Sosthenes, how, so do you think he's converted at this point? Because I saw in the notes of my Bible that he's mentioned in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 1
No.
in the opening.
Interesting.
So obviously the letters would have come after this, but
I don't know. I mean, all it tells us right here is he's a ruler of the synagogue. So I always just kind of made it in my head. I was thinking he was one of the leaders who was like, hey, let's go get this Paul guy. And then when it backfired, they're like, oh, he's the one that made us look bad in front of the official. Let's get him. But I don't know if he maybe got converted later or if he's already converted.
that's what I was
I
wondering.
think I read something about. That's what I was going to try to look it up real quick.
No, by all means, go for it. Because think about that. So let's paint this fiction, make sure we get this word out there. Fictional picture of, okay, let's say Paul shows up here. He's about to make his defense. Proconsul steps up, says, nope, we're not even doing this today. They get mad, seize Sosthenes. They put a beat down on him. And then who's the first person there? Hey, buddy, I know what it's like. Let me help you up and go help you get cleaned up from this. What was Paul that like picked him up off the street and then he gets converted?
Yeah, it says it's a reasonable assumption that he became a believer because Paul writes in the Corinthians about him.
Interesting.
His name also means safe strength or of safe strength. And he got beat up.
Well, but think about that from Paul's perspective, though. Like Paul's sitting there thinking, this mob came to beat me,
And they
but
did
they're
beat him.
not beating me, and they're unleashing their anger on safe strength.
But that probably wasn't what Sosthenes was thinking when he got his name.
Sosthenes was thinking, I don't want to know what he was probably thinking. Al,
Yeah.
that's what he was thinking. And will I survive this?
Well, it calls him, says, and our brother Sosthenes in 1 Corinthians 1:1.
Yep. Sweet. There's
And
always a chance there's 2 of them.
I was reading here, and most commentators think that it's the same fellow.
I mean, makes sense to me. Why would Luke name him here? Why not just say leader of the synagogue? Usually when Luke names somebody, there's a reason so you can go talk to them later. Good stuff.
Sosthenes may have been a common name back then.
It's going to become a common name on Craig's Green Roads for dogs, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Kurt, we pray us out of here.
All right. Dear Lord, thank you for this day, and thank you for this opportunity once again, Lord, to just look at your word and see what you have for us, Lord. I pray that as people are listening, Lord, that they would just focus on what's being said, Lord, and that they would open their minds and their hearts to you, Lord, that they could just lock in on what you have for them, Lord, that amidst all the other things here tonight, Lord, that there's just one thing that they can take away from this and apply to their lives, Lord, that would just help them to live in ways that'll bring honor and glory to you, Lord. I pray that we would trust in you, Lord, and just remember that you're always working for our good, even when we can't see it, as long as we're in your will, Lord. I pray that you just watch over and protect us, Lord, in your name. Amen.
Amen.